The average independent pizzeria makes between 0 and 3% operating profit on the pizza itself. After labor and rent, the pizza barely pays for the kitchen. So how do these places stay open? They don't. 60% close within 5 years. The 40% that survive, they figured out something different. The pizza is not the business. The pizza is the bait. $46 billion U.S. pizza market, roughly 75,000 pizzerias. The top 4 chains, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Little Caesars, control about 35% of revenue. The remaining $30 billion is fought over by independents and regional chains. The category looks crowded because barriers to entry are low. A deck oven and a storefront are enough to open. But the financial reality of running a pizzeria is much harsher than the menu makes it look. Look at a single $20 order. Large pepperoni for $13, 2-liter Coca-Cola for $4, garlic knots for $3, total $20. The pizza generates roughly $8 to $9 of gross profit on a $13 sticker. Sounds healthy until you remember it took 12 to 15 minutes of oven time, ingredient prep, and box assembly. After kitchen labor for that window, the pizza nets the operator about $3.50. That is not enough to cover rent for that 15 minutes. Now look at the soda. A 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle costs the operator approximately 45 cents wholesale. It retails at $4.50. That is a 90% gross margin on a SKU that requires opening a refrigerator. The per-minute profitability of the soda crushes the pizza by a factor of 4 to 5 times. Now add the garlic knots. Cost to produce, roughly 40 cents in dough and oil. Retail $4, $2.50 of pure margin. The combo, the pizza plus drink plus knots, generates around $8.90 of gross profit. The pizza alone generated $3.50. The bundled extras more than doubled the order's profitability while only adding $7 to the customer's bill. This is the math. The pizza is the loss leader. The drink and the add-ons are the franchise. Every chain promotional structure pushes you toward this combo because the chain's CFO knows the soda margin is what pays the rent. The pizza is the reason you walked in. The Coca-Cola is the reason the operator can afford to keep the lights on. Walk a single Friday night order through the system. 6:30 p.m., customer orders large pepperoni for $13. The phone is answered by a trained operator. 6:32, operator suggests 2-liter Coke for $4. 6:33, garlic knots for $3. Total ticket $20. Total gross profit $8.90. The pizza alone would have netted $3.50, barely covering kitchen labor for that 15-minute window. The combo netted enough to cover rent, payroll, and profit. That single upsell, 20 seconds of operator script, transformed an unprofitable order into a profitable one. The discipline of asking for the drink, every time on every order, is the single biggest predictor of pizzeria survival. Now extend to chain economics. Chain pizzerias build the upsell into the order interface. The web flow defaults to combo prompts. The phone scripts are corporate mandated. The franchisee's operating standards include attach rate metrics. The result is that chain pizzerias have roughly twice the beverage attach rate of average independents. Higher attach rates means higher per-ticket profit. Higher per-ticket profit means more margin to invest in the next order's marketing. Compound that across thousands of stores, and you get the chain advantage. Independents who refuse the upsell discipline find themselves at a structural disadvantage they cannot close. The pizza is roughly the same cost. The labor is roughly the same. The rent is similar. But the chain captures 50% more revenue per visit because they ask for the drink. The independent's pride about letting the pizza sell itself is, in financial terms, a slow-motion bankruptcy. The most extreme demonstration of this model at scale is Domino's Pizza. In 2010, Domino's stock traded at roughly $11. The company had lost market share to Pizza Hut. Domino's was widely considered a low-quality discount brand. By 2020, the stock had passed $400, a 36 times return over the decade, outperforming Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft on a percentage basis over that specific window. What happened in those 10 years? Patrick Doyle became CEO in 2010 and did something unusual. He publicly admitted in advertising that Domino's pizza had been bad. He committed to fixing it. The pizza recipe got modestly better, but the actual revolution was not about the pizza. It was about the technology. The order app, the delivery tracker, the supply chain, the customer database that drove order frequency from roughly 1.5 visits per year to over 3. Doyle reframed Domino's internally as a technology company that happens to sell pizza. That sentence became the operating thesis. Tech driving frequency. Frequency driving compound revenue. Frequency, applied at 20,000 store scale, produced the largest stock gain in QSR for that decade. The lesson reproduces the independent pizzeria model at a different scale. Independents win on attach rate per order. Chains win on order frequency per customer. Both moats orbit the same insight: the pizza alone is not enough. You need the bundled extras, or you need to bring the same customer back next week. Either way, the pizza is the bait, not the catch. Now here is the part that almost nobody who opens a pizzeria wants to hear. Most independent operators believe their pizza is good enough to sell itself. They put pride in the recipe, the dough rest time, the imported San Marzano tomatoes, the wood-fired oven temperature. None of that matters at the cash register. The cash register cares about the attach rate. The cash register cares about whether the operator on the phone said the words, "Will you be adding a drink tonight?" The authentic, recipe-obsessed, pride-driven pizzeria is statistically the one most likely to close inside its lease term. The unprofitable pizzeria is rarely the one with bad pizza. It is the one with operator pride that refuses to commercialize the upsell. 60% of independents close within 5 years. The 40% that survive almost universally have one common operational habit: they ask for the drink, every order, every time. Which means the moat for surviving independent pizzerias is not the food. It is the discipline of the phone script. 20 seconds of trained dialogue, repeated on every call, defending an extra $7 per ticket. Across 200 Friday night orders, that is $1,400 of extra weekly revenue. Across a year, $70,000. That is the difference between making rent and closing the doors. So strip the layers. The pizza is not the product. The pizza is the bait. The drinks and add-ons are what actually pay the rent. The independent operator who refuses the upsell is the one who closes. The chain that builds the upsell into the interface is the one whose stock outperforms FAANG. Domino's at $400 in 2020 was not a pizza recipe story. It was a frequency and attach rate story dressed up as a pizza story. When you walk into any thin-margin food category, burgers, tacos, sandwich shops, even fine dining, look at what gets bundled. The bundle is where the business actually lives. The headline product is just the reason you walked in.